The moment the results flashed across the screen, Jamaica witnessed a historic moment. The Jamaica Labour Party has done it 3 terms in a row. This is more than a win, it's a political milestone. No JLP government had ever managed it before. How did they pull off what once seemed impossible? We will break it all down. And before this video ends, we will give you 4 bonus facts about the 2025 election. The campaign that started before the campaign. This victory didn't begin with the stepped-up campaigning after nomination day, it started long before. Andrew Holness and the JLP set their strategy early. They declared, "Our campaign will be about performance." Months before the election, Holness was already standing before the Jamaican diaspora in the United States, telling them, "This election is about what we've done, not just what we plan to do." And in his budget debate in March 2025, Holness dropped his campaign theme, "Choose Jamaica." That early declaration mattered. While the JLP was busy laying out its record, the PNP held back. They refused to release their manifesto until the JLP did. In fact, the JLP didn't release its manifesto until 10 days before the election. That hesitation by the PNP to share their plans with Jamaicans early cost them. The JLP filled the airwaves with progress reports, and by the time the PNP responded, the story of achievement was already locked into the minds of voters. Social media, where the battle was won. Elections are no longer won in town squares. They are won on phone screens. The JLP dominated social media, turning YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok into daily campaign billboards. Videos of Holness in the communities, graphics showing falling unemployment, and infographics on crime reduction. They were everywhere. Meanwhile, the PNP was almost invisible online. Their content was scattered, inconsistent, and lacked energy. Worse, different PNP spokespeople gave conflicting messages, leaving Jamaicans, including their supporters, confused. In an election where attention is currency, the JLP was rich and the PNP was broke. During the campaign period, some undecided voters admitted they were swayed by what they kept seeing online. The JLP's digital dominance wasn't just noise, it helped to convert some likes into votes. And every vote matters, the Holness factor. But this wasn't just about the party, it was about the man at the center of it all, Andrew Holness. For nearly a decade as Prime Minister, he became the steady hand on the wheel. Voters saw him navigate crises, from the pandemic to global inflation. He was calm, firm, and consistent. During the campaign, Holness came across as statesmanlike. His tone was measured, his vision clear. By contrast, Mark Golding struggled to inspire. His intelligence wasn't in doubt, but too often he sounded like he was only criticizing, not offering a compelling alternative. The PNP failed to sell their plan. Some of the ideas were very good, but they arrived too late for the party. Holness connected not just as a politician, but as a relatable figure. From formally opening completed projects to repairing roads, he made himself visible in communities. People trusted him. And in politics, trust is everything. The debate stage that changed nothing. The campaign also featured 3 nationally televised debates hosted by the independent Jamaica Debates Commission, with the final showdown between Andrew Holness and Mark Golding taking place on August 28, 2025. For the PNP, this was supposed to be their moment to regain ground. And to be fair, their performances were decent. Golding landed some points, and his team presented solid arguments in the social issues and economic debates. But by then, most Jamaicans had already made up their minds. The JLP's achievements and early messaging had locked in support long before the debates began. Nothing said on stage could spark a dramatic shift in voter sentiment. The debates became more of a formality than a turning point. Watched with interest, yes, but with the outcome already sealed in the hearts of the majority. Performance beats promises. This election was not about lofty promises. It was about the results Jamaicans could feel. And for the first time in decades, those results were undeniable. Unemployment is at a record low. Poverty is at record lows. Debt is under control. Inflation is stable. And perhaps most shocking, murders down by 40%, the steepest drop in nearly 30 years. These weren't abstract numbers. Families felt safer walking home at night. More people were working. Grocery prices were high, but many were able to cope a little more affordably. Electricity costs are a burden to all, including businesses. But the JLP has proposed a solution to bring those costs to manageable levels. Jamaicans had seen governments promise change before, but this time, change was real. And when faced with the choice, voters chose performance over promises. But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn, because the PNP still had opportunities. They just failed to use them. The PNP's missed chances. The PNP didn't lose because they had no ideas. They lost because they failed to sell their ideas. On issues like disability rights and faith-based engagement, their proposals were often strong. But instead of speaking with communities, they spoke at them. Instead of listening, they lectured. And candidate selection was another blow. In some constituencies, the PNP fielded weaker candidates against seasoned JLP representatives. It wasn't just a mismatch of policies, it was a mismatch of personalities. People vote for leaders they can trust in their constituency, not just party manifestos. The JLP made fewer mistakes. The PNP made too many. Why this victory is bigger than an election? Here's the real question. What does a third term really mean for Jamaica? It means stability in leadership. It means policies won't be ripped up overnight. And it means investors, both local and foreign, can plan with confidence. But it also raises another reality. The bar is now higher than ever for Holness and the JLP. A third term isn't just a reward, it's a responsibility. Voters have said, "We've seen what you can do. Now, do even more." This wasn't just an election result, it was a vote of confidence and a challenge. 4 bonus facts about the 2025 election. Before we close, here are 4 facts that make this election unforgettable. Fact 1. Record female participation. 53 women ran in this election, the most in Jamaica's history. It marked a turning point for gender representation. Fact 2. The manifesto gamble. The JLP released their manifesto only on August 24th, just days before the election. It was risky, but by then, their narrative was already in place. The PNP's delay hurt them far more. Fact 3. Youth voter shift. Based on poll numbers, under 35 voters broke decisively in favor of the JLP, largely due to increased social media engagement. Fact 4. The diaspora factor. Even though they couldn't vote unless they returned home, and some did, Jamaicans abroad played a considerable role. Their social media advocacy and remittances reinforced largely the JLP's message of progress and stability. Jamaica stands at a new chapter. The JLP has made history. But the bigger question is, what will they do with it? We will be here to break down every step of the journey. If you want to stay part of this story, make sure you subscribe to this channel, Impacting Jamaica. Because Jamaica's history isn't just written in elections, It's written in how we hold our leaders to the promises that brought them victory.